up, y'all? Welcome back. So we are done with the Sephora sale, but we're about to head into all of the holiday madness, and I thought it'd be nice to do a palette cleanser, to do a top 3 in every category. We haven't done one of those in a while. Honestly, personally for me, to like re-ground myself in my collection, especially as it pertains to fall, but like mainly it's like I feel like I've been just throwing really fantastic makeup at y'all. I've had really good luck. And sometimes that translates into what can be kind of an overwhelming deluge of what would you pick if you actually had to pare it down. I thought this was a really good way to give y'all a look at like a capsule. You know, it's not that tight of a capsule, but it's a capsule of still the things that I love, taking into account everything that we've been trying lately. So I'm super stoked to share those with y'all, but first I want to talk to you about today's sponsor. I am so excited to be working again with Lilysilk. If you're unfamiliar with Lilysilk, they are a beautiful luxury clothing and lifestyle brand that focuses mainly on just the most gorgeous silk and cashmere blend kind of knitwear. And I'm going to share with y'all a bunch of items that I have recently had the pleasure of receiving from Lilysilk that I absolutely love. Again, this is not my first time working with them, but I wanted to go ahead and let y'all know that the sale on site is incredible right now, okay? These items are already, I would never consider them to be like, you know, discount price, but they are incredible for the price. When you see them online, they're so beautiful. And then when you get them in your hands, it exceeds my expectations every single time. The knitwear is just like so gorgeous. Like all the details, all the cuts and everything are so beautiful. The attention to detail, just the weight of the fabrics and everything, the longevity of them. And that's why I continue to get excited to work with Lilysilk, is because like I want to share that kind of stuff with you because it's so cozy, it's so lovely, and it's so worth it. If you're looking for gifting or anything like that for the holidays, they're already running a bunch of amazing discounts on site, and you can get 15% off using my code KHAKI15 on anything else on the website. So I want to jump into sharing some of the items that I got with y'all. So first of all is this one that I am wearing. So this is called the Ribbed Collar and Hemline Wool Cashmere Sweater. It is perfect. The cut to me is like my ideal cut for someone who kind of has a long waist, but I find that sweaters swallow me. I love a perfect crop, and this is cropped at the perfect length. And I'm also a really big fan of a sweater that has abundant sleeves. So these are long, they have a really wide opening. There's something really cozy about them. So the proportions of this sweater work perfectly for me. It's like exactly what I was looking for. It's 70% wool and 30% cashmere. It's really soft. And I have owned silhouettes like this in the past that have not really like fit this well. There's just a je ne sais quoi to the way that they construct their garments that just feels like a lot of attention to detail has been given to them. I also got the merino wool shawl collar cardigan. I am a lounge girl. Like I love to have nice things to wear around my house because I work from home. I spend a lot of time at home, and if I'm living in kind of like, you know, not that great of clothes, and that's most of the time that I'm spending because I'm around my house so much, like I'm just gonna start to feel really blah. So this cardigan can go from, you know, being that beautiful luxurious piece that I would wear in a video, or, you know, just lounging around and whatnot. It's so ridiculously comfortable. It is 100% ultra fine merino wool, so it's just got this amazing like weight to it, and it's super soft to the touch, but also I don't feel like I'm wearing my pajamas going outside in it. It looks so presentable. It's so beautiful, and again, it layers really beautifully. It's got these really fantastic rolled cuffs. Everything about it feels abundant. When I'm wearing a cozy sweater and it's freaking cold outside, because it's freaking cold outside right now in New Jersey, I want a sweater to feel abundant. They're just giving cozy. They're giving luxury. And if you've ever seen any of my other Lilysilk partnerships, you will be familiar with the fact that I've been sleeping on their silk pillowcases for over a year now. I swear by a silk pillowcase to maintain my moisture barrier, especially in the winter time, because it's a well-known fact that a lot of other materials are going to kind of absorb your natural oils from your hair, from your skin, and a silk pillowcase is much kinder to your skin. Now, I also got to try the one size fits most, because we've all got different boobs, okay? Wireless silk bra. I am a big fan of this kind of slide on bra style, especially under a sweater. I've heard it literally just called a sweater bra, but it's such a great silhouette smoothing bra for underneath sweaters so that you don't have any like discomfort, especially because a sweater does a really good job usually of like disguising whatever undergarment you have on under it. So why not wear the most comfortable one? You know, you don't need the straps cutting in. You don't need any kind of clasps or anything. It's got the removable pad. So, you know, if I need a little help, then I will have the little bit of help, but but I don't have to necessarily. You just slide it on over your head and you forget about it. So like I said, they're already running some amazing deals on site. You should definitely go check it out. And if there's anything that I could leave you with talking about Lilysilk, it's that the quality of the pieces, from the actual construction to the silhouettes of the garments, just the modern flattering cuts, off the charts. I absolutely love everything that I've ever had from them. So be sure to check my link down below to shop Lilysilk for Black Friday and for all of your holiday gifting, whether that be to your loved ones or to yourself. And thank you to Lilysilk for sponsoring a portion of today's video. So let's go ahead and jump into my top 3 in every category. Okay, so let's talk about foundations. A lot of times when we're talking about like top 3 in every category, I try to focus on different needs for each product. So like, that's what makes it kind of hard to make decisions sometimes, because like today, I'm wearing the Ciel Tint and Protect SPF 50. This is kind of my like ultra lightweight complexion choice as far as my top 3, right? So it's gonna be this, a medium coverage, and what I would consider to be kind of like a more makeup situation. This is so ultra beautiful. I would say that the runner up here, I'm cheating by doing this, but I would say the runner up is the YSL New Tint. I haven't had it long enough to tell you like, yes, absolutely, I completely wholeheartedly recommend this. I just really like it so far. And it actually, I feel like has even less coverage than the Ciel. So if you're looking for something that doesn't have SPF in it for some reason, like mineral SPF isn't for everybody, then go swatch this in store, see if it's a color that like works for you or whatever, but it's so beautiful. But I have more experience with this and I absolutely love how it looks on my skin. So a lot of the questions that I get about the Ciel are around longevity, because the blushes have a reputation of kind of disappointing people a little bit just because they don't seem to be as tenacious with the pigment. They don't last quite as long on the skin. This wears all day. So beautiful, and as it's wearing in, it doesn't look really conspicuous because it looks like skin. And I find that it actually builds really beautifully. Like I kind of get a little carried away sometimes building it because it's so satisfying to build. You can wear it ultra thin, but if I apply it with like a sponge, if I want to actually get a little more coverage out of it, don't underestimate this product's ability to behave like a really high performing skin tint. I love it. I love it, I love it. And like, this is definitely not a no makeup kind of look that I ended up with today. And I feel like this is a really ideal coverage level, and I can get like practically no coverage out of it as well if I want. This is probably the most user-friendly thing that I could recommend. This is the Yummy Skin from Danessa Myricks, specifically the Serum Skin Tint. Oh, by the way, I have the Ciel in 03, and then this is shade 2 in the Danessa Myricks. So it's like if you're my skin twin or whatever, news you can use. So this is going to be a little bit, again, more serum-y. They are pretty similar, but this is gonna be more coverage. And the main thing that I love about the Danessa Myricks Skin Tint is the grip. All of her complexion products have this incredible grip to them that makes them wear effortlessly, but a really long time. So I'll swatch these next to each other so that you can see the difference in coverage, because, you know, I have what I've always called my arbitrary scale of coverage, which means that like, it's just as memory serves and sort of my experience, but I'm trying to give you some kind of bearings, a sense of what the coverage levels are. And most of the things that I wear like never go to like a 10. So there's the Ciel. I mean, I'd give it like a 1. And then the Danessa Myricks, I would give like a 3, you know, like a 2.5, 3. And they're both pretty buildable. So I think that the Danessa Myricks is something that gives me this look when my skin is not behaving as well as it's behaving right now. You know, it's going to give me more coverage, but still look this effortless. And that's why I like it so much. Plus they're both really hydrating. I have dry skin. I have ridiculously dry skin in the winter. So bear that in mind as far as my recommendations are concerned, because like, I don't have experience with oily skin. And then honestly, y'all, a fast favorite here, and I'm always happy to be a relatable queen. Not only did I love this the few times that I have worn it, but I got really great feedback from y'all in the comments, which goes such a long way with me to hear that this is a kind of resounding high performance and also, you know, affordable kind of product. This is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever foundation, and if y'all watched that video, it convinced me. I was giving every possible like extenuating contingency where I was just like, this is probably gonna disappoint me. Sure, it's going on nice. Okay, fine, the shade match is really good. Okay, fine, the dry down is okay. Okay, I like the way, but it's really good and it wears all day and it's not expensive. It's $20 without the 30% discount. You know, it's $20 if you just go pay for it, right? And I think that it is actually worth it, especially for being such like a sophisticated formula. I think they did a really good job with it. And the thing that I talked about in that video, like as my biggest takeaway from the Sephora collection, is just that they have the ability to make such wide shade ranges, both in their complexion products and also in their color cosmetics. And I think that that's the big advantage. Sure, navigating their displays is kind of manky, but you get just so many options. And like you can see, it's both a little less dewy than either of those. It's gonna have a really nice a true natural finish, like a skin finish, not a natural finish that actually is sort of satin. I don't really think that it has like a ton of, I wouldn't say like oil control to it, but it's so thin on the skin that I feel like if you wore it with like an oil control primer or something like that, like combo skin could very easily get away with wearing this. It's just not matte. And it, I would say, is like a 6.5 in terms of coverage. So those are my fall foundations. Those are my top 3 in the foundation category. And a big explainer. I hope that they don't all take that long, but they probably will. I will make a shoppable shelf down below so that you don't have to watch me blather on, and I will also make timestamps. Future Khaki is mad at me for saying that, but I will timestamp it. It feels stupid not to. This won't take long at all because this is not a surprise at all. These are the same 3 concealers that I've been loving the whole time, okay? To quote Marshawn Lynch, I've been here the whole time. So this is the Tower 28 Concealer, Brightening Gorgeous. It's what I'm wearing today. Givenchy. This is the Prism Libre, and it is ultra hydrating and has just this incredibly like natural finish on the skin that's not overly dewy or overly dry. This one has its own dry down, the Tower 28, like you don't have to powder it. It's so good. Honestly, if you like the Gucci, or if you think you're gonna like the Gucci, or you like the way the Gucci sounds, the Tower 28 is like just as good and it's less than half the price. And then we have Kosas, which is just like my go-to mainstay. You know, this is the one that I kind of recommend to anybody for any skin type. It's just great and they have a great shade range. The only caveat that I ever give is that like I wear a cool undertone in the Kosas because the entire line leans just ever so slightly golden. Now this is actually, I have 2 of the Tower 28 concealers, so this isn't necessarily like my always shade. This is BU. I actually prefer CC, so that's why it's so light. So here is the Kosas in 1.5C. Here is the Tower 28 in BU, and that is the Givenchy Prism Libre in N95. I would say that they have pretty similar coverage levels. It's just kind of about like whether you want it to be brightening or whether you want it to be hydrating or whether you want it to have like a good sort of satiny finish. So the satiny finish is going to be the Kosas, brightening is going to be Tower 28, hydrated is going to be Givenchy. I only have 2 contours, and that is these 2. I've just been wearing the living daylights out of both of them, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. It's just really easy for no makeup because I prefer to finish off my contour with something that absorbs light. So even if I'm wearing like an all dewy face of makeup, you'll have seen me do this. It's like the finishing touch to add something that is more mattified because it's going to exaggerate the illusion that the contour is actually a shadow instead of being a reflective shadow. That is something that is just so probably incredibly specific to me, but that's just why I prefer it. Plus, there's something about this color because Charlotte Tilbury, she makes user-friendly color stories, and so she does kind of err on the side of a contour being a little bit more of a bronzer kind of thing. So that's why I like it. I just am enjoying, you know, not having to worry as much while I'm putting it on. It's just such an easy last step. And then this is my cream contour of choice. This is my Oma cream contour, and they did put it in its own component recently, which is really lovely. And you can see it's pretty much gray by comparison. It's like a very cool taupe. And I find the formula to be really easy to work with. You barely need any. I don't put it directly on my skin. I don't know why, it just never even occurred to me to do so, but I just use it on a brush or a sponge and, you know, work it really easily. It's like so pigmented, you'll never work your way all the way through it. And by the way, this is the Fair in the Film Star Bronze and Glow, like the fairer shade, and then the White Pearl contour stick. So that's just like a nice duo. You know what I mean? This is going to give me like a really believable shadow that's a little more exaggerated, and this is going to be like that beautiful finishing touch that's a lot easier to use, a lot less gray. I don't even know if I ended up with 3 bronzers. Did I? Yeah, no, I only have 2 bronzers that I really want to use right now, and they're both powders. I don't know what it is about like fall that makes me want to go to powders. I don't know. I can't explain that. Someone explain that to me. But I have 2. I have so many, but these are the 2 that I'm just just like completely in love with. So the that's the shade, again, White Pearl. You can see I've loved this very much. This is like the most fair bronzer that I've like ever owned. It's almost the color of my skin, and so especially in my winter, very, very fair skin, this is a really great thing to have on hand because it's gonna like blend my complexion into the rest of my color cosmetics on my cheeks and everything. And it's also just like really healthy looking without looking like you're putting on a, you know, a totally different color of makeup kind of thing. And then the Gucci, I have fallen back in love with this head over heels, y'all. It's rosy. So it's like I start putting it on and I find myself just putting it on all over my cheeks because it's like, if there's a bronzer, this is a blonzer, a blush and a bronzer. So they're actually quite different in depth, but they both have very similar undertones of just that really nice, like neutral leaning slightly rosy, not yellow at all. Like that's my idea of like a cold weather bronzer for me. So those are my two. I love them so much. So, oh, by the way, this is in shade 1, and then yeah, this is in White Pearl. Let's talk about some powders real quick, because if you were listening to my bronzer spiel just now and you were like, what about the Victoria Beckham bronzer duo Khaki, the matte bronzing brick? I made an executive decision that this is actually a powder because that's how I use it. I don't really use this side. I will occasionally, but it's mainly about this right here. It's this like ultra fair bronzer that is like just this much deeper than my actual skin tone. So when I have brightened under eyes and a little bronzer and whatnot on my cheeks, y'all have seen it in action. You take a little brush and you just swipe it in between, and it just erases any line of demarcation that you have between shades on your skin. And I don't know if that translates for everybody. There are different shades in this palette, but like there's just something about this that makes it part of my top 3 that like it's so indispensable. And if you can find a powder or a bronzer that's right there bridging that color for you, and it's in a formula that you like that's not adding a ton of coverage or something, or just, you know, totally throwing off your game, I highly recommend keeping it on hand because it makes all the difference in the world sometimes in terms of like not wearing any more makeup than you really want to. Sometimes you're sitting there like, why is it so bright on my under eyes, and why is it so, you know what I mean? The contrast. I want to wear a lot of blush, but like it makes my under eyes glow. Having that in-between color of powder to just swipe in between, game changer. And then the other two should be no surprise, although a lot of people ask me, I finally just had to like list it in I forgot to list it in the description. The Prism Libre powder from Givenchy, I have this in Voile Rosé, and holy crap, is this like the most perfecting gorgeous thing without adding a ton of coverage. It's so pretty. It is scented. It is quite scented, but I mean, it's gonna give you doll skin in the most beautiful way. Like on your under eyes, it's just so smoothing and finely milled, and it's not overly mattifying because I cannot do anything that's gonna soak up all the moisture underneath my eyes and give me those weird crepey under eyes, and it won't. It doesn't. And it comes in a gazillion shades of all these different color corrections and skin tones and whatnot. I love this formula so much. It's stolen my heart. It's very different from this, the Kosas Cloud Set. This is an Airy. This is if you want to just take the edge off of your skin being shiny. You know, you're just like looking at your skin and you're like, okay, I just don't want that one spot to be reflective. It's not gonna do a lot of oil control. If you put it all over your whole face, it's just gonna give you what Hannah calls like mochi skin, you know, and it probably won't even last that long in terms of giving you a more mattified appearance. It's so lightweight, and that's why it's kind of so prone to hard panning, is just because it's such a ridiculously like lightweight, uncomplaining, like barely there powder on the skin, and that is why it is my #1 powder of choice, because that's usually what I want out of a powder. Powder has the ability to completely ruin a face of makeup for me. The stakes are high, and that is why this is the one that I swear by and I will probably wear forever and ever. This is like my 3rd thing of it. Okay, blush. So blush, I cheated again because, you know, each of these has its own colors. So like one is a placeholder in the 3, but it's technically 2 blushes kind of thing, but it counts as 1. So talking about the Givenchy Prism Libre powder, we're also going to talk about the powder blushes. I'm wearing the coral one right now. Same thing, where they're just really awesome colors. They have luminosity to them, but not sparkle. Just more of like a smoothing luminosity to them, like a radiance. They're amazing. They're not glittery at all. And I I don't know. It's up to you whether you see entertainment value in the combining of the 4 shades kind of thing. It doesn't bug me, it doesn't bother me, but like, look at that and then look at that. The Dior, like, well, Tom always likes to say how disappointed they were when they realized that this isn't clear, this is actually a mirror, so you're not looking at the color. So like, I will do a swatch job here. This is the Givenchy Mousseline, and this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow, the old one before they reformulated it. And I have to say, for everything that it's going for, to wear a kind of neon blush that's gonna highlight the cheeks a little bit, I think that the Givenchy is superior. Another one, I cheated again because I'm including an entire cheek palette. Did I crack that one? Yeah, I did. I did that. It's because I'm rough on my makeup, y'all, but it's okay. And I still use the living daylights out of this, and I can't stop speaking highly of the Hourglass palette formula. If you already have one, don't buy another one, because they are exactly what the criticism says that they are, and that is that they are always the same every year, okay? Don't buy 2. But if you are wondering what is the most mindless blush you could use, it's this. And someone did ask me if I could pick like one shade. I have to be that person to say, like, I feel like Hourglass really shines in their palettes. If there's something about combining all the colors together that is the magic, it's not one shade for me, especially because I can't really identify any of them. I'm just like, that's a, I don't know, it looks nice when I put it on. That is my color analysis of an Hourglass palette. And then the other one that is like top 3, blast from the past here. They do have a shade in this that's similar, that's available at Sephora and not an Armani site exclusive, that I feel like they did specifically for Sephora so that people stopped complaining, because it was like, everyone was annoyed that you could only get this on the Armani website. This is shade 10 in the Luminous Silk blushes, and for fair skinned folks, it's everything, but the formula itself is everything. And the one that they have at Sephora is a little warmer and a little richer, and a lot more people can get use out of it. So like, definitely don't sleep on it. Like, I would wear it. It doesn't bother me. I just already have this one. And this is like ridiculously beige. Like, it's super, super, super fair. So like, that's what that looks like. By the way, oh no, you don't want to look at that. I accidentally like showed my whole arm in a video recently. Like, I kind of just like put my arm up like this, and I was like, oh, I was like horrified, because like, I don't see my own arm. But if y'all don't know, I fell down my front steps the other day, and like, I caught myself on this arm, and it is 50 shades of gnarly right now. It is so awful looking. So anyway, it really looks like I got like oil paint, like yellow oil paint on my arm. So anyway, that's Armani 10, but I vouch for all of the shades. The formula is gorgeous. Okay, I think we're ready to talk about eyes. I have narrowed it down to 3 palettes, 3 singles, and 3 eyeshadow sticks. Okay, that was the best I could do. We have the Makeup by Mario Etherealized palette. Yes, I feel like I talk about this nonstop, especially since it's finally back in stock. It was out of stock for so long that I felt stupid talking about it. While the mattes are a little more pigmented than I would want, they're a little more saturated than I would want for like the actual colors. I liked his older formula better. Still, they're beautiful to work with. And it is made up for by how absolutely ridiculous these shimmer toppers are. Like, they're just wet look, dreamy, dreamy. So beautiful. And then there's also one of the most perfect bedroomized brown colors I have in my collection, just sitting there. And it's got a whole accompaniment, right, of all the different colors that would complement any look with that bedroomized brown. And then you also have that amazing, that I don't talk about ever because it's not really my shade specifically, but it's like that oyster green that if that color's for you, you know, and it's exciting. I just think it's such an informed choice that he included that in there. So I think this is a really, really lovely palette, and the whole construction of it is nice. It's heavy, it's metal, there's just something really satisfying about interacting with it. The next one should be a surprise to no one. This is the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. This is just such an essential basics palette for me because it's got the putties and the powders. The putties are all going to be a lot lower pigment, lower impact, and they do wear a long time, but they're very like malleable and easy to work with. The little powder, the little slits there, the sliver size ones, those are going to be more of a saturated color, you know, version of each shade. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And if you don't get it, don't spend your money on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are lots of basics palettes out there. Like, I think that this is going to make more sense in people's brains a lot of time than this does. But for me, it's the cool versus the warm. It's the light versus the deep. It's the textures. Like, this is how I would think. I mean, I'm not sure I would conceive of this concept, but this is how I think about basics in terms of color. And then the last one, this is again, like a very late addition, but I have to talk about this. I just got this and I'm wearing it again today. I adore this. I think that too many of the luxury fashion houses out there making makeup overthink quads, okay? And they go quantity over quality, or they just don't understand that, like, a person carrying a quad wants their look to be contained inside of that quad. This contains entire looks. I'm not even wearing every shade. I really adore what we have. I consulted Natalie and we have decided that this is called Bedroom Bambi. Like that shade value, that really beautiful kind of like fair version or like silvery taupe version of a bedroomized brown, but it's like a bedroomized Bambi color. So she digresses, doesn't she? So anyway, I love this palette. I love the way that it makes me think. I love that it is decidedly cool. And so when I put a look together with it, if I want to editorialize with a little bit of warmth, which I did today, I can do that. So what I did was I added some of the Hourglass blush into it, just a little bit of like a coral color. And then I also topped with Hourglass Blaze, the scattered light, so that I could get some of the pink into my eye look. But this is truly a look in a quad. And the formulas are gorgeous, the experience is gorgeous, especially, and I'm sorry, Natalie, you need this. Natalie is fair like me, but she does wear kind of silvery colors better than I do, and like, this is just it. If you're one of those people who like really gets excited about a good nuanced, like desaturated kind of taupe, you know? This is the one. It's the one. And I can vouch for the formula too. You know, this comes in a bunch of different colorways. This just happens to be 100. So those are the eyeshadow palettes. Let's talk about the singles. And again, I have cheated a little bit because there are different shades in these. I just pulled one of each, but it's like I'm talking about the formula mainly. Moondust. Wow, 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 wow. All of these are texture. These are not like me choosing like matte singles, okay? That's for the eyeshadow sticks, okay? So it's like you could ignore everything that I just said about those palettes and focus only on the eyeshadow sticks as bases and these as shimmers on the lid kind of thing. And like that, you don't need all of it. I mean, you don't need any of it, let's be real. But I'm saying like they are separate categories and they each accomplish the same thing. Moondust, this happens to be in Urban Decay. This happens to be in the shade Lithium. This is one of those colors where if you are among people who are not makeup fluent, they'll go, what is that? And if you are among people who are makeup fluent, they'll go, is that lithium? Yeah, everybody just knows how uniquely breathtaking these Moondust shadows are. And this particular shade is just off the charts gorgeous. It's just kind of a lot of things all at once. It's like kind of a ruddy, rusty base with like a good kind of like greeny brown on top, and then this really incredible shift on it that is, I mean, it's definitely got like silver, but also like champagne-y gold. It's just a really, really unique color. And I have Space Cowboy as well. So Space Cowboy is just like a beige with a really good like wet look shimmer on top, like a champagne-y wet look shimmer on top. And I love both of them. This is from the Sephora collection. And like, I think I said it as soon as I tried it in that video. I was like, this is staying out. And by that I mean like it's going directly into circulation, heavy rotation. And this is the shade Hollywood Calling in the colorful glitter formula in the Sephora collection eyeshadows. Somebody said that like a lot of times these arrive broken, but I think that you would be in better shape actually with this formula because it's almost like a hybrid cream to powder. Like when you touch it, yes, it's a powder, but it's so creamy. I just don't feel like it would be necessarily as susceptible to breaking. I could be wrong, but they said this is like it's like a packaging flaw thing. But that is Hollywood Calling, and I want more of their glitter shades because wow. And they have a bunch of different textures. I didn't kind of, you know, realize until I went on the website when I was tagging that video where I was like, oh, there's like tons of options because like I said, the display was gnarly. You could not make heads or tails of it. I was just like, I'm just gonna try and find a color I like. That was all I did. I said it might as well have been in a bucket. I don't care. But like, yeah, it's like this gorgeous copper shade that is actually a true kind of like foiled shimmer. It's not, you know, wet look. And it's not, I mean, it's glitter, sure, but like I think it's giving more pigment than you would consider a glitter. But it's super creamy and gorgeous. I really like the formula. They're very affordable. And then, like I said, the one that I have on my eyes today, that I put the lid in the wrong way. Am I okay? The answer is absolutely not. Is the Hourglass Scattered Light, and this is in Blaze. I intend to own all of these at some point, but right now I own Ray and Blaze. Blaze is this beautiful, it's like a little bit pinker, obviously not as deep as Hollywood Calling, and it's got, again, like a wet look thing to it. The Scattered Light has Scattered Light, it's spangly. And so it has like that kind of pinky copper, and then it's got a gold, like very, very fine micro shimmer in it. And I find that like while Lithium is a very like standalone, it's like bedroom eyes on steroids when I put it on and I want to kind of construct a look around it, the Scattered Light is what I did with it today, where it's like I can kind of editorialize after the fact and say I want to add a little bit of warmth, I want to add a little bit of like a pinky copper to my look to kind of make it not too cool toned and make it so that my eyes aren't like, you know, glowing red or whatever, because that can sometimes happen if there's like something too cool in my eyeshadow. This is the thing that kind of bails me out, and it's so rewarding every single time I use it. You know, every time I put it on, I'm like, glad I did that. And while something like the lid lusters from Victoria Beckham are really beautiful, they are not as easy to apply as the Scattered Light. The Scattered Light, you can pick up on a brush, you can pick up on your finger. It's just a very agreeable formula, whereas the lid lusters, while absolutely gorgeous, are so creamy, they're like, they just ignore a brush. The best way to apply it with something that's precise is actually to use the smudger on the end of one of her eyeliners. That's gonna pick it up, but not much else. And as promised, we won't spend too much time here because we're talking about 3 matte eyeshadow sticks, but these are the 3 matte eyeshadow stick formulas that I lean on, and I think that there's kind of something special about all of them. Starting with the Victoria Beckham, this is my good, I mean, you can tell by looking at it, this is the one that I use the most. This is Pecan, and it is the perfect in combination with Trench. It's just like the perfect brown for me to put in my crease, you know? Like, I just think that it's like the perfect kind of building shade on my skin tone. I hope that she expands the shade range and just goes a little darker for everybody, you know? More options kind of thing, but Pecan is the one for me. Then we have the newly reformulated caviar sticks, the matte caviar sticks from Laura Mercier. I think that these formulas are super, super beautiful. I like Brick because it has a little bit of pinky rosiness to it, but also just this beautiful rustiness, and it still is effective as a crease shade. You know, even though it's really warm, there's just something about it, especially the matteness of it. It absorbs light really well, and it's a beautiful complement to like a nice, more natural looking eye look. And then I adore this and I want more of them. This is the Sephora collection one, and this color is awesome. So this color is the Espresso Matte, and it's very, very similar, if not identical, to the Tiramisu eyeliner shade that I'm actually wearing today that I also love. And look, just look at that color. It really is like right there in line with like this kind of color story where you have that not completely cool gray, but just like a really good cool brown that's just been dialed into perfection for a cool tone look that doesn't look like silver gray. You know, it doesn't have to be blue to be cool toned. It's just like a really wearable cool tone color family. That's what you're getting from Espresso Matte as well. And these are actually new from the Sephora collection. I think the world of it is super easy to work with. They're well priced. And I think that they like belong in the same conversation with this. Like it was such an intuitive formula to work with. And again, the shades are off the charts. I'm gonna keep those swatches on so we can talk about some eyeliners real quick because I left some room. Why not? Almost the same brands, 2 out of 3. So we have the Sephora eyeliner I was just talking about in Tiramisu. And you can see it's like almost exactly the same color. I am really enjoying this kind of brown that has a little more blue in it. You know, it's gonna give that kind of cool, rich color without being black. And I adore that. And this is a 12-hour formula. Contour eye pencil is what they call it. But like, while it's not a satin eye kajal, that's not for everyone. Not everybody loves that like slippy gel eyeliner vibe. And this is a very easy to apply, very easy to manipulate, doesn't like skip all over the place eyeliner formula, but it's not giving slippy and it does wear a long, long time. It's great. So the next one I have here, I just grabbed one of them. Like I have all of them and they're gorgeous. And I don't know if y'all y'all caught up on my last video, but I get to meet Lisa Eldridge and I'm really excited about it. But this is Renaissance Gold in her eyeliner pencils. What I love about this particular shade, I love all of them. I think the colors are conceived so brilliantly. But what I like about Renaissance Gold is that it still has a little bit of like a gray backing to it, so you still get the like eyelash thickening appearance, like you still get the illusion it's not just pure gold, and so it's really effective. But the thing I want to say about the Lisa Eldridge eyeliners is just that they do kind of smudge indefinitely, and they're supposed to give you that kind of slept in look, and that is for some people. Like my friend Simbri will wash her face before we go out, and she will make sure to like not use a good cleanser on her eyes because she wants her mascara to come off but not her eyeliner, and she wants the eyeliner to kind of smudge and look a little bit slept in, and then she'll like redo her eye makeup for that night. She's not actually sleeping in her makeup, but like she wants it to kind of like gather and look worn in. That's what these are for. Especially something like Renaissance Gold is going to be something that when it does kind of look worn in, it's not going to look like a mistake because it's got that shimmer, it's got that softness, it's gonna look kind of like rock and roll. So that's for some people. And then if you want your stuff to not move, this is my number one, y'all. This is my number one, and that is the Victoria Beckham Satin Eye Gel. I am a fan of the Slippy Gel formula, and it dries down and doesn't go anywhere. And this is the new shade. Oh, it's cinnamon, and it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Oh my God. It's so pretty for fair skin. Like, I mean, it's pretty on everybody, but it is bedroomized brown for my skin tone in an eyeliner. And it's just like, okay, like, let's go. Let's make an eyewear, her eyeshadow stick. Let's make it in that color because I would buy it in bulk. It is so ultra gorgeous, but I love the formula. I have it in every shade, and it is so, it's just the best. Okay, you can get a smudged look out of it, but then it'll dry down and wear the whole time, and the colors are just so intuitive and beautiful. I love them so much, and there is such a vast array of colors in that collection. It's just a luxury experience for an eyeliner, and I always know I can count on it. And that new color Cinnamon, I'm not done talking about it. It's so pretty. I didn't wear it with this because this is a cool tone look and this is a very warm toned eyeliner, but it's so freaking flattering. Oh my gosh, it's so flattering. I have 3 mascaras, and that's only because I have 3 mascaras open right now, and they all happen to be really equally lovely in my mind, but they all serve different purposes, so you know, there's that. We've got my mainstay. This is the Hourglass Unlocked Mascara. The Thrive was always my mainstay, but like honestly, it's just been getting like harder to get my hands on. Like I don't always like think about it in time to like order it, and I'd rather just go get it in person, and so I can just go buy the Hourglass in person. Would I rather have a brown? Yeah, I would, but like I've just been using this and I love it. They're very similar They're very similar formulas. So again, this is a tubing mascara. It's going to give you like the long fluttery lashes. It's going to rinse off in tubes. It's never going to resolve. It's not going to give you raccoon eyes. It's fantastic and I love it. And the component is just like heavy and luxurious and fantastic. And that is why I continue to buy it. I think this is like my 4th or 5th tube of it. I'm remembering now that I don't really think that I want to recommend the Vast Lash yet from Victoria Beckham. I like it, I like the way that it looks, but I'm still not sure if it's like giving stampy. So we'll put a pin in that. I want to be honest with y'all. And then the other one, and this is the non-tubing formula in the collection, but my God, is it gorgeous. Wow, and so much fun to use. Like it's just fun to use because as it builds on itself, it's just so satisfying. That is the YSL Lash Clash. It's really good. It's just really good. I've been wearing it every single day since I got it. And I have no complaints with it. Like it washes off in the shower and it doesn't stamp on me. Basically all of the things that I would typically complain about from any formula of mascara, and like why I always lean on a tubing mascara, I have not had any issues with this yet as to that. And it does come in brown. And another color too. I think it comes in like blue. I've been really into this. It's one of the most satisfying non-tubing formulas I have ever used. I skipped over highlighter by accident. Like in terms of where it would go on my face. Like I didn't mean to move straight onto eyes yet, but I have 3 highlighters and they will come as no surprise to you, so this won't take long. The Chanel Rosy Light Drops. I'll put these on the palm of my hand because these aren't going anywhere. There's no reason to try. The Rosy Light Drops are more of like an all over face primer type highlighter. It is more subtle, it's hydrating, it's gorgeous. It's $50 for the whole ounce. Then you have the Prism Libre highlighter. This is a, you know, special edition or whatever. This is $42 for 0.37 ounces and from Givenchy. And it's just gonna be a lot more of like an intentional kind of highlighting situation, but they're extraordinarily similar. So yes, I swatched them right next to each other like an idiot. I'm hoping that you can discern. Yeah, you can see. So it's a little silverier. It's not quite as pink. And it does come in 2 shades, which I think that the Chanel does too. And it's not as much for your money, but it is more of a highlight than the Rosy Light Drops are. You know, pick your poison. And then we have something that is an entirely other breed of product. This is the best highlighting stick that I have ever used in my life. Most of these kinds of delivery systems pick your makeup up like crazy and dissolve your makeup and just don't work, okay? Or they're too stiff and glittery and weird. I've just experienced so many highlighter sticks that are just like ridiculously disappointing. This is Dragé. And you can tell I'm into a pink highlighter. It's just kind of what goes with my skin the best. Dragé is the Baume Essentiel formula, and it doesn't, I wouldn't say it like dries down, quote unquote, but it's not slippy as heck like the Westman Atelier lit up stick or something like that. Like it has this commitment on the skin, a little bit of grip to it, but it's slippy slidey enough to go on really evenly. I put it on with a sponge or with my fingers or whatever. It will rehydrate your under eyes. It will completely reinvigorate a face of makeup wherever you tap it on. That's what I use it for. It's like highlighting my actual complexion, not like a highlighter stripe. It's like I take this and if my under eyes are dry or something, you can just tap it and it just like rehydrates and re-illuminates everything in a way that does not look like makeup at all. I don't understand how this product works so well. Every single time I use it, I'm like, this isn't gonna go well. And then I do it, I'm like, that went great. Can't explain it, Chanel. This is a great product and it's abundant. For what you're using it for is a lot of freaking product. Let's talk about lips because I have 3 lip balms and 3 lip sticks and I have highlighter all over the inside of my hand. Let's do something about that. Okay, shocking to no one, the YSL Candy Glaze. I think that she's absolutely delicious and lovely. Yes, she is. This is going to be the highest pigment of the 3 here, but it is still very much a lip gloss balm situation. Very hydrating balm. I love it very much. I think all the colors are really incredible. That happens to be Cascading Nude Down a Flight of Stairs. I can't remember what they're called. This is number 15. And then we have the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm. These are new. These colors are new. And this is a little bit of a thicker formula. Super, again, like very nourishing, hydrating. Absolutely gorgeous. My whole hand smells like Chanel, so I don't think that these are fragranced. I'm not sure, but I don't think that they are. Not overwhelmingly so, and that is the shade Latte, and it comes in 4 shades of really beautiful brown. And then we have the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint, which is what I'm wearing right now, in the new shades. And these are just kind of what live everywhere in my life. They have replaced the Glossier Balm.com. If there is a time that I might think my lips would be chapped, there is a peptide lip balm sitting there. Did I ever think that I would say that about Rhode products? No, I was never like a Hailey Bieber stan, but like these are really, really good. So look how shiny it is. I would say like this is the most pigmented, the medium pigment, lightest pigment. This one's the slippiest. This one's medium slippy, and this one's the most tenacious as well. So they're all really lovely. Lovely, lovely, darling. And then we have lipsticks. 3 lipsticks. I have, first and foremost, this Givenchy. Which one is this? The Le Rouge Sheer Velvet. If you can't tell, these are all going to be, well, they're all going to be nipple colored or closely thereof. And they're all going to be like just very easy formulas to wear. I'm not going for anything that's like really high boldness like the Prada or something like that. Oh, I'm going to digress for a second. The reason Prada did not make it into this is not because it's not a good foundation and not because I'm not using it. It's because ever since they came to the US, people have been having the worst experience trying to order it. That website is awful. I ordered a bottle of it for Tom for their birthday, ended up with the wrong shade. They told me I made that selection like that. It's because you can't tell what you're selecting on their website. At least from your phone, it is impossible. And now I bought Tom another bottle of it. It has been in the mail for 2 weeks. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I can't in good conscience recommend the Prada foundation until they get their crap together. Because like, as far as US shipping is concerned, like I've had the worst experience possible. So, well, no, Harrods was the worst experience possible, but at least it came. No, it didn't. Harrods was the worst experience possible from Prada. But either way, I don't recommend it right now until they get their crap together. So anyway, that is the Le Rouge Sheer Velvet. This is in the shade 10, which is just, again, like that beautiful kind of like neutral fair skin toned nude color, right? Nudie beige. So gorgeous, super easy to wear. It's nourishing even though it's matte. It's not that like drying souffle kind of formula. It still has some grip to it, which is really nice. That's what kind of bugs me about those souffle formulas, the lip souffles, is like they just feel like they sit on top of my lips and I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. This has a lot more commitment on the lips and all these colors are incredible. Then we have the YSL Rouge Pure Couture. This is not the super high pigment one that I was just using in my last video, my YSL video. Wow, those are really similar colors. This is just a gorgeous sheer creamy formula. Not super, super sheer, but the Rouge Pure Couture Bold is going to be a much higher concentration of pigment. Wow, those are really similar colors, khaki. Nipple colors. And then finally we have, again, late breaking here, but like, did this steal my heart? Absolutely. It's actually kind of funny to put this in the lipstick category. They do call it a lipstick, but it kind of reminds me a lot of the YSL Candy Glazes, which are glosses. So it's like a little bit more pigment than that, but this is the Sephora Rouge Lacquer, and this is in the shade So Proud, or Be Proud, sorry, Be Proud. And it's browner, but like, again, like I said about the Sephora collection, they have so many shades. You can find whatever you want there. If this has a scent, it's extraordinarily faint, but the other two are luxury lipstick formulas, so they're going to have scents. But yeah, those are my lipstick choices. We're talking a nice, easy to wear, soft sheer matte, a really beautiful cream that's like nourishing and long wearing, and the color is just off the charts. And then that Sephora one, not only is it affordable, there's tons and tons of colors and the formula is very similar. Honestly, it's the most comparable thing that I've found to the Candy Glaze yet. So those are my top 3 in every category right now, y'all. These are just the things that I'm excited about. It's almost like the things that are living in my short-term memory. If it didn't make it in there, ask me about it in the comments. You know, I can let y'all know like either why or whether it was an oversight or whatever. I'm not perfect, but these are the things like that I think of when I think of my top 3. But either way, I hope that this was valuable for y'all just to know which ones I'm absolutely loving. It's kind of like my gigantic but still like capsule collection for this season. And if you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up. If you are interested, you should definitely check out Lilysilk using my link down below. I cannot recommend their items enough. So get while the getting's good for your holiday gifting and whatnot, because the sales are bananas. They're so good right now. If you have not already subscribed, cool people subscribe. Subscribe if you're cool. It would be very cool if you did. I will put a video up here that I think you're going to enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I love you very, very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!